Hello, everyone, and welcome to Change Your Thinking, Change Your Body. My guest speaker today is Miss Lori Daniel Falk. Hello, Miss Lori.
Hi, Lucia.
And let me read a little bit about you so we can get right into the meat of things, because I think we've got an exciting topic to talk about today. So here's a little bit about Lori. Lori is a thought leader. She is an epigenetic healing artist, author, and a coach who has been gifted with an artistic healing modality that enables her to communicate with and share the wisdom of the angels in both pictures and words. Her angelic message portraits are not just images of beauty, they are epigenetic tools designed to heal at a deep emotional level. They bring a feeling of wonderment and inspiration to all who view them. To date, they have found homes in 25 countries around the world, have graced the covers of numerous magazines, and have a regular feature on the Daily Ohm, oh, I love that, and are exhibited at the Hay House Publishing conferences across the country. Lori is a graduate of the School of Spiritual Psychology, is a certified spiritual life coach and a Reiki master. She has been a featured guest on both radio and TV. Her book, What the World Needs to Know Now, Wisdom of Angels, is available, and I'll give that link. Wow. Whoo! Tell me, how did you come to this teaching? I mean, that was a mouthful here. Epigenetics, how did you land here?
Well, I've been traveling around the country for about 8 years with Hay House, and so I get to listen to the creme de la creme, cutting edge experts in the New Thought industry, and Dr. Bruce Lipton just fascinates me. It's funny because I have a friend who's a doctor, and we'll go to these events together, and she'll go see all the mediums, and I'll go see all the scientists. And so I just fell in love with his work. And I think, to be honest with you, Lucia, it's something I've known my whole life. Because even back when my mom had cancer, when I was only 18 or 19 years old, and I didn't even take biology in high school, I knew that her thoughts were controlling the outcome. And I knew her beliefs were going to make a difference in whether she lived or died. I knew that at just like an energetic core level. Like I came in with that information.
Wait, I just have to take a moment of pause. That's big. Yeah. That's exactly what the summit is about. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Wow. So I love that you were so in tune with that. So please continue.
Thank you. So I was divinely led. I asked God about 15 years ago, show me what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. And I was divinely led to become a spiritual life coach, which I love. And then I was divinely led to becoming a visionary artist, which I now love, but thought was insane because I have no artistic training whatsoever. Never thought I'd be an artist. And to be honest with you, Lucia, I walked around for the first number of years. Coach one day and I'm an artist the next day, and I don't really know how to make this all dovetail. And then I started studying Dr. Lipton's work, and I went, oh, well, this makes sense because art is a healing tool. And all of a sudden, I'm not kidding you, I was coaching one of my clients, and I was suggesting to her that she needed a to make it like really important. And I was telling her to do these epigenetic prescriptions. And she looked at me and said, why aren't you doing them? And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. So that's really kind of it. Once this came on to the horizon, if you will, everything else made sense.
It started to do the where it meets
exactly,
which is what's great. And I love you've got the picture behind you. Is that one of your own?
Yes, that is actually our Unity angel.
I love it. I love it. And maybe we'll talk as we get into most of what we're going to talk about today, because what I want to ask you is like, what in the heck is epigenetics? What does that mean?
What is epigenetics? So most of us have walked around our whole lives believing that if there was heart disease in the family, that meant it was in our DNA, and therefore then we would get heart disease. Well, the truth of the matter is not. Your DNA does not determine what ailments you get. You can have like the BRCA1 or BRCA2 breast, ever have it activate, because what's activating those genes are the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that we hold in the subconscious. And since that's the part of the brain that we're operating out of 90 to 95% of the time, it's running the show and we don't even know it. So it's just this fascinating thing that it's not. So you might, like we were talking about weight, right? So you might have a family lineage that shows that most of the women in the family were like, 30 or 40 pounds overweight, and diet and exercise certainly play into that. But it's also the beliefs that get on board that actually make the difference. I had a client, this is a fascinating story, that started a diet an exercise program, and she lost 50 pounds. I mean, it took 6 months, but she lost 50 pounds. And then she plateaued for a year.
Oh.
A year. And no matter what she did, nothing changed. And I sat her down and I said, we need to start looking at the emotional components that are holding the weight in place.
Mm-hmm.
And that made a world of difference.
Yeah.
World of difference.
Yeah. I think that I found in my experience also with clients and alike that there's that resistance to go there, that, let me just, I'll just portion out my food and I'll run the track and it'll be fine. There's, no need to go any further than that. And I think it's a scary place for people to feel it, or they feel it's a scary place. Let me say that. They feel it's a scary place to go. So I'd rather just, let me just, nothing to see here, leave me alone. I was one of them, quite honestly. I feel like I was right in there with how you described it, that I didn't want to talk about the tape that was playing in my head constantly, about, the lineage that I had and everybody else in my family, and why that was going to be now my outcome. And sometimes it was a quiet little whisper.
Yes.
Right? And it just played back there. Who do you think you are? Kind of thing. And until I was paying attention to, it was like, what? Who said that? Kind of thing. So, So how do we take the fear out of exposing those things if there is someone that's really afraid of it and may not even know it?
Well, what I've done here with our particular topic is I've identified what those beliefs are. So they're just going to be listening in, and they're going to hear what those beliefs or emotional root causes are and go, oh, yeah, I am a little sensitive. Or, yeah, I do have that fear. So, it's not like they're picking up the phone and calling me and saying, hey, Lori, can you dig into my subconscious? And what's really cool about this is when I do a full epigenetic prescription on somebody, we get to short circuit coaching by about 6 months, because what's happening is we're looking at disease patterns in their at disease patterns within them. So we're talking about physical ailments. We're not talking about the emotional components at the get-go. So when they are understanding that, and if you will, and those emotional components and patterns that created those diseases, then they can see that was the environment that their parents were raised with. And then when they look at the diseases their parents had and the emotions and beliefs they had, that's the environment they were raised in. All of a sudden, they don't feel responsible. What could I do? That was the environment I was raised in, right?
Right.
So talk about the emotions. It makes it way easier to bring that into play. Way easier.
When you can give something an explanation as to why, or something, some person, right? An explanation as to why. And more importantly, what I love that you said is that it's not your fault.
Right.
So, and it is like anything though, when you know better, you do better, right? I quote Maya Angelou all the time. So I think that this is what's great about this summit and what we bring and what your information brings to the table here. So in terms of beliefs, and I know you don't just naturally, ask somebody, shall we dive into your emotions now? So tell us a little bit about how that wouldn't be scary, and what do you do in terms of, and we'll talk about weight loss and weight management right now in terms of those belief patterns. How do you get in?
So the first thing we do is we use this wonderful little resource, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I mean, this book's been around since the 70s, and it's like the go-to. And it lists every disease pattern out there. And you probably have one there, right?
I have my book of her.
Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, we're not delving into their psyche or their subconscious as much as we're just looking what are the probable emotional root causes that create weight issues. And in the book, she actually lists overweight and she lists fat. And I don't know why it's separated out. However, there are different things under each one.
It's probably like a dictionary, just to interrupt. Like sometimes if I went to overweight, if I didn't want to say the F word, I don't want to say the F word, right? I'll go into
exactly.
That. Yeah,
exactly.
It's probably just so that people can find it, however they define it. But go on. Yeah.
So when I did that research first, and it came up with, I'll just read these off to you. Oversensitivity, fear that may be a cover for hidden anger and a resistance to forgive. Or often it can represent a fear and shows a need for protection. So some people feel that weight is protecting them on a again, this is subconscious. This isn't in our cognitive mind. Running away from our feelings was another one. Insecurity, self-rejection, and seeking fulfillment. So when you just read that list off, different emotions and beliefs are going to resonate with different clients or different people. Right. And then once they know what it is, that they go, oh, that's it. I wouldn't have wanted to admit it, but geez, that resonates. And geez, that makes sense. The beauty of my epigenetic prescriptions are that we then look at how are we going to change that belief. Now, again, Louise Hay, fabulous resource, fabulous book, because not only does she list the emotional root causes, but she gives us affirmations, right?
To change the way you're speaking. Sure.
Right. So, and affirmations, oh, that's a hot topic, man. You know, you can walk around from now to forever if you are having financial issues and say, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm financially successful. But if that's not what's causing that to happen, until we get to what that issue is for you, the affirmations really don't work. But in this case, if someone is saying that, you know, this might be hidden anger or a resistance to forgive, then saying an affirmation such as, I forgive others and I now create my own life the way I want it to be, that affirmation will take hold. Because it's addressing a core limiting belief that they have. And something that they are saying, you know what, that's right, I have it, I want to shift it. I don't want to be carrying that around, because that's the stuff that's making us sick. Feelings, there's another great book out there, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die.
Oh yeah, that's a title already.
Right? And what happens is they manifest in disease or discord or addictions. And so it's really so important that we address these things. And I think, you know, we have enough people who are waking up to the fact that we need to be more conscious. Remember when people, this is some woo-woo spiritual thing. And the fact of the matter is, it's just talking, what we're really talking about is being more aware. Being more aware of what's going on in that subconscious. Acknowledging that 90 to 95% of the time we are reacting to those subconscious belief patterns. And we're, you know, as a result, we're creating at that level. The law of attraction works 24/7. It's just like the law of gravity. And if you wouldn't jump off a 18-story building without a safety net or a parachute, then you don't want to be walking around having these belief patterns that are going to create something in your world that you really don't want to create.
But, you know, jumping off a building makes sense to me. I can see that. Why would I do that? When you get into the thought patterns, a lot of resistance happens, doesn't it? It becomes almost like Princess and the Pea, you know, right? You got the buildup of the layers of life and the root cause oh shoot, I know that there's something there. Maybe if I think about that, otherwise I'm just reacting to
Yeah.
what's happening in my life today, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people walk in that. I walk, I'm going to pull it back to me because I never want anything I say to sound judgmental, because we've all been there, done that.
Right.
I've been saying we are all more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
So my stuff might be different than your stuff, but I might still process it in the same way. And then, that how's that working for your stuff, right? So until we get, because I find a lot of people too have a hard time if forgiveness is within the equation, right? Like you said about that, there's a whole shift of what that means and how you define it versus how I define it, and so there's that sticking point, right, in any given topic. So
yes.
And it doesn't have to be that scary, is what I want to say, right?
It doesn't. And that's why I developed these epigenetic prescriptions the way that I have, because we're not going to just use the affirmations. We're going to use essential oils,
right,
because the oils will cross that blood-brain barrier and trigger the subconscious to release those beliefs that are held in place.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use art, because art is an emotional healing tool.
Yes.
Art, when you view a piece of art, you are actually moved at a heart level. And my art in particular is encoded with angelic healing energy, so that when you are viewing it, you're absorbing the wisdom that's encoded into it, into your emotional field, where you have access to it 24/7, bypassing the cognitive mind. That's what I really love about it. I mean, when I first started channeling this artwork, and I was told that this was going to happen, was before I started studying epigenetics. And before anybody was writing articles about art as a healing tool. Now we've got the American Cancer executives publishing articles like this in their newsletter. So the mainstream is getting this. So we're using the oils, we're using the art, we're also using solfeggio tones and sound healing. Right. This is Whole Tones by Michael Terrell, and they're we got a little glare there. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, and so there's different solfeggio tones that are going to help with different belief patterns and different things that we want to shift.
Yeah.
So what these angelic prescriptions or epigenetic angelic prescriptions are doing is addressing those beliefs at a totally nonlinear level. So if I'm needing to do some more forgiveness, I'm going to use Serenity.
That's right.
Which is the oil of forgiveness. Smell, yes.
I wish we had Smello computer.
I know, right?
Smello Zoom, yeah.
Right. And so you can apply this on your wrists. You can put it on your heart chakra. You can diffuse it. And that's going to trigger forgiveness.
Yeah.
And emotions of forgiveness in your subconscious mind. And then
I was just going to interrupt you for a second. You know why? And because I do want you to keep going with these pieces, but what I'm feeling that I want to say is I feel that, I think science and the knowledge that we have now has also come from people saying, I don't want to take a pill to make it go away. This has been in place way before pharmaceutical, hasn't it?
Yes. Oh God, yes.
So for us to get back to that when we're in this conditioning of the world that we're in today, and I love that we've really accelerated the process in terms of how many people are listening. I know for me, even going through with my parents and them passing because of side effects of medications that they've had. And I was like, if we only had started sort of a process in being proactive versus reactive. And so that's what frustrates me, which is why I love that you're pulling this in. And I want to just remind people who are so attached to, and again, not a judgment. I get it, because you get a pill. Somebody says it's going to make you feel okay. Make me feel better, please.
Yeah.
And yet, when you can get into a process like this that doesn't have, side effects, so that it cuts. So I just wanted to say that because I was feeling that this has been for the past. This isn't something new we're just introducing. This has been
right.
Yeah. So this has been way before pharmaceuticals. So we have the opportunity to really control. So many things out of my control. So many things. the things that were within my control. Shame on me that I'm not choosing that, So,
Right.
so I just wanted to say that, and I'm so sorry to interrupt your process of where
Oh,
you're at.
no.
We've got oils, and I know you've got sound. We've got oils and art and sound. I think you've
Yes.
too. So let you pick it up there, because I wanted a spirit of people understanding. Oh God, yeah, this has been out there for a while.
Right. Because here's the thing with the pharmaceuticals. You can take that pill, and that pill will help alleviate those symptoms while you're taking the pill. When we get to emotional root cause, which is what we're trying to do here, and shifting those belief patterns, we don't have to take the pills anymore.
No, exactly.
And it's going to so accentuate that healthy diet and that healthy exercise program. And it's going to click and it's going to work. And that just gets me so excited.
I know, it gets me excited too, which is why I'm like, hear
Yeah.
this message about that. It doesn't have to be scary, but go on.
Right,
Go
right.
on with what
So this is our angel of forgiveness.
there you go.
So just looking at this angel is going to help release those subconscious programs that are holding unforgiveness in place.
Yeah, I do. I can feel an emotion when I look at that.
Yeah.
Me feel good.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
So right now, if I could just be so simple to say, it makes me feel good. Even the one that I see over you, it makes me, and I've interpreted like what that means to me, even the one behind you, like what that sings to me, if I can say it like that. So
Sure. Absolutely.
yeah, there's no right or wrong answers. It's about what you feel, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
so if we look at one of the other root causes of weight management issues, this oversensitivity, right? So if we are overly sensitive, then what are we going to do? Then we have the inner peace angel.
Oh, she pretty. As my turquoise is one of my favorite colors. But yeah, it is.
Or we also have the all is well angel.
Nice.
Yeah. So each one of these is going to trigger those feelings within us that help us to realize that we don't have to hold on to this stuff like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're having feelings of insecurity, which is another trigger that can cause this weight to maintain and stay on, we have our divine love angel.
Nice. Oh, that's perfect.
Which helps you to really, really love yourself. Thank you.
Well, the love
and
yourself.
then the go-to for all of this.
Go ahead. Sorry.
This is that's okay. Yeah, and this one's our emotional healing angel. So that one's just going to be designed to help all of these issues.
Yeah.
But how cool. You hang this art up in your office or in your bedroom or wherever you're going to see it every day, and let it work with you, and then get your diffuser out and throw some On Guard in. On Guard is amazing for people who are overly sensitive. It actually strengthens your inner self and your inner resolve to stand up for yourself. So, oh my gosh, how easy is that? Right?
Yeah, seriously, I've known that this is helpful for me, that all of my senses, when they're in alignment and congruent to each other, and that's why people like to, light a candle to put them in a mood, right?
Yeah.
Some music that puts them in a mood that either decompresses, or you can even get, so like, that makes so much sense to me, as you call them, your prescriptions, because you're honing it to the individual, and it makes sense that you're hitting all of the senses.
Right.
For the most part. And so, like, other than taste, right? We don't, not really eat with the smell. See, like the smells and the music and the artwork, the visual. I'm a huge visual learner. I'm a huge visual. Most people are, I know, but when I see, I'd rather see stuff than read it.
Yes.
And let me interpret it the way that I need to interpret it for myself too. So that, and that in itself is such a great discovery.
Yeah.
Of me. That's all I can say. Like, certain sounds and music that I've been listening to, I've been discovering such a side of me. Like, wow, I didn't realize how important that was to me, or how much that resonated with me. And you don't know that until you try, right? You
exactly.
Yeah, just if you're not liking, you know how many people have said to me, I just don't like the direction my life is taking. Do you know how many people have said that to me since January of 2017, turn in the year? I
Yeah.
don't like the direction that my life is going in. I'm like, okay, then let's change that. So
Right.
many people have said that. So now's the time to do that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's your sound healing. Tell me a little bit about what that implies. Is it more about tell
Well, it's solfeggio tones, which are ancient Gregorian chants.
ah
And Michael Terrell put this all together. He did like 20-minute songs for these different of different frequencies to help with different things. For example, when we're looking at these root causes of emotions that are creating these weight issues, the frequency 396 hertz would be recommended because it's designed to wipe out unhealthy fears and drop feelings of guilt and shame. And the other one that would be super, super good for anyone who's looking to shift these beliefs is the 417 hertz. That removes the recurring negative cycles in your life, like procrastination, addiction, and even junk food. Hello, it's like right there in the description.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. This prescription, this epigenetics prescription makes a lot of sense. I love that you can uncover what some of the beliefs that you may have even hidden. You know, we don't know that we were even thinking that way, honestly. Right? So you hear until you hear yourself say it out loud. I know when I first said it out loud, I'm like, wait a minute, I believe that? So once the theme here for everyone that I've spoken to so far has been about being aware.
Right.
Aware of the things that are tripping you up in your life and what you really want to change about that, and then there are opportunities for you to make these changes in a variety of different ways, which I just love that you put all of this in the gift basket for this audience. I do. I love that. I'm looking at the summit as a gift basket of opportunity for people to go, I like what she's got to say. That makes a lot of sense to me. And some people may not, and that's okay because everybody's so different. But give everything a shot. I just got to say that. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
We don't know what we don't know right now. So sometimes that's a good place to be so that you can absorb, right? So absorb whatever the world's got to show me and offer me. And then tweak it to me. So I'm hearing a lot of that. What you do in the world is a lot of that. Owning it for people too. I appreciate what you do, Lori. Thank you so much. That was a lot of information and things that it made me feel good just to hear the work that you do.
Well, thank you. It's so exciting to me. You know, I lost my mom when she was only 49 years old. And I just think, God, if we had known all this back then, you know, she might be here playing with her grandbabies.
Yeah. If it was as obvious as you're bringing it to the world. Yeah. Because that makes a lot of sense. You have a free gift for everyone. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yes, it's basically going to be a link to a page on my website that's going to have all of these different emotional root causes. And then we're going to identify if you are overly sensitive. Here's the angel art that's going to help you. Here's the essential oil that's going to help you. Here's the solfeggio tone that's going to help you. And here's the affirmations that are going to help you. And so they'll be able to look at the whole list of what those probable emotional root causes are and have a little prescription for each one.
I like that a lot. And if there were one thing I could do today before even I click on that free gift link, what would you suggest it be?
One thing that you could do today.
To make a change. Yep.
Acknowledge that these beliefs and emotions are running in the subconscious and say yes to making a difference. Just say yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just choose it. Yeah. Just choose it. I like that. I like that a lot, Laura. That's simple. That was simple. I like that a lot. Thank you so much for your information. I really do wish we had, Smello computer.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing else that they can also do, especially if they're visual. They can go to wisdomoftheangels.com and see the art. And they're going to find art that's going to resonate with them. And I always tell my clients, even though on the back of every one of these pieces, there's a story and a message. On the actual homepage of the website, you don't see those stories. You just got to feel which one your heart is drawn to, and then click on the story.
Which is the way art works, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It talks to you in a certain way. Well, thank you so much, not only for what you've shared with us today, but for the work that you do in the world.
Oh, honey.
And I am so honored to have you in my tribe. And that we are connected, girl.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say to the audience that we would love to know what resonated with you, especially here today as Lori spoke about what she does and what she brings to the world, and what you'd like to see more of. I'm going to encourage that, because the more that we know that what you need, the more that we can go out and get it for you. So that's what I'll say to everybody. And there'll be more, so stay tuned. Thank you again, Lori. You have a great one.
Thank you, Lucia. Soul sister, I love you.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.